Good morning, good morning, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Turning Your Passion into Profit Morning Show. How's everybody doing today? I hope you're having a fantastic day, wherever you may be around this world. I know we certainly are. We enjoying a very happy Tuesday. And I want to wish you happy Tuesday, everybody. You know, this is a brand new week, at the beginning of the week. And, we hope that whatever you are doing, you are intentional and you're maximizing your potential. And with that being said, let me introduce myself. I'm Gertrude J. Chapman, your number one inspirational book coach. And that's what I teach women. I teach women how to maximize their potential and how to stop leaving money on the table. And I do that by teaching them how to write their books and how to save money and how to save time. Avoid making those costly mistakes because I show you just what you need to do in order to have a book that reaches your ideal audience. And with that being said, let me introduce my co-host, Tiffany Rochelle.
Well, great morning, everyone. It is such a pleasure to be here, being here in the land of the living, being seen and not viewed. So I'm super excited for that. I have a little bit of a gloomy day on the outside, but just because it's gloomy on the outside does not mean that you are going to feel me or have me acting gloomy on today. So I am super grateful that this is a day that I am able to see and spend with you all. So good morning. I will say I am Tiffany Rochelle. I am also known as the people's cheerleader because I'm always having some type of cheer in my heart. But I also like to see you win. What I do is encourage women to rid the toxins from their hearts and to set goals that are true to you. As I believe that out of the abundance of your heart, your mouth speaks. I am an author, a heart and a goal coach. I did write a book. It's called I Choose Me. And so I'm hoping, and it is my desire that you also will go ahead and get selfish with yourself and start choosing you as well. So with that being said, we like to say sharing is caring. And so if you will go ahead and share this broadcast, if at any time that it is a blessing to you at some point in time that you hear, go ahead and share that on your timeline, share with a friend or family member. You can go ahead and use the share button and share it via text message or on an email. You have all kind of ways that you're able to do so, and also communicate with us in the comment section. We like talking to you, so we like to have a little talk back session over here. So please feel free to talk to us over there in the chats. Ms. Gertrude opened up and asked how you were doing, so let us know how you're doing over there in the chats as well. If you have any questions, concerns, or anything that you want to ask, go ahead and do that. So at this point in time, I'm going to turn it back over to Ms. Gertrude, and we're getting ready to turn your passion into profit.
And yes, thanks, Tiffany. But this is, January, and people are all, getting ready to, start something new and see what they could, carry on throughout the year. And a lot of times we have authors talking about, well, I want to be intentional this year. I want to write my book. And these are what's the theme for our month? The theme for this month is, setting those goals and getting those goals set, where you could write your plans in order to reach those goals. And that's something that, we're going to teach on. It's going to be a webinar next month, probably the mid next month, talking about setting goals. And, we're excited about that. And we'll be dropping a link down there for you to get registered for that webinar, maybe at the end of this month, because we don't want to set it out there, where people forget.
Right.
So,
Right.
You all can remember. But, be excited about that. Be excited about maximizing your potential. Be excited about, really crushing it this year.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe last year, maybe there was things that got in the way. But this year, okay, this year, be intentional and crush those goals because we certainly know that you could do it. We always talk about this is the winning team. We all in this together. And what you hear on these broadcasts, they help you. They enlighten your understanding where it won't be complicated because today we're talking about your writing does not have to be complicated. Many times people look at their writing and they look at their book and they say, oh, this is too complicated. And they just throw it aside, Tiffany. When they're talking about, getting started writing their book, maybe they start off, but because, they get bogged down in some things and they don't know exactly, maybe it's writer's block, maybe it's distractions. And, then they go and they push their book on the back burner. Just like I told you about the lady, she had all of these journals. Oh my gosh, she had, and they, they were pretty, they were even pretty journals, okay? They were real nice, flowery, and some had different type of, the covers and all. And she had written them out. They were so neat. She had written them out so neatly. But, she started writing, but then she got, distracted. Then she started procrastinating. Then, and this happens to a lot of people. But we want to let you know, authors, audience, your writing does not have to be complicated. Not at all. When you know the right steps, when you know the blueprint, when you know exactly what to include in that book, and how to write that book, how to reach your audience. We always talk about your message, the best message for your best audience. What is that message? Even yesterday, you could go back and listen to some of the things we were talking about on yesterday, about reaching your audience. What you have inside of you, those different aspects you could bring to the forefront, how to reach your audience.
Sure.
There's different things, but your writing does not have to be complicated, because your audience is waiting. There is an audience out there that's waiting on you. They're waiting on your message. And those are some of the things that we're going to highlight on this webinar that's coming up. Because Tiffany, this is very important.
It
This
is.
is very, very important, because I know there's a lot of talent out there. There's a lot of people out there that have so much. I was talking to this gentleman yesterday.
Okay.
Texting back and forth. And he was saying, I went through his profile because he sent through a connection request. And I went through his profile, just reading something about him. I didn't want to ask, well, a lot of times people say, well, what do you do? When you could go there and read it for yourself, So I went and I read his profile and everything. And I say, wow, this gentleman has a lot of knowledge that needs to be out there. And he said, and I asked him if he ever considered writing a book. And he told me, he said, well, I'm a son of an author. I'm the son of an author.
Wow.
And I told him, I said, but I understand, but with all that knowledge, somebody needs to know, I mean, he had a wealth of knowledge.
Yeah. And he needs to share that. He might be scared. Did he ever say if he was going to go do it or not?
He never responded back. Wow. I said, well, I hope I'm not too hard, but jogging somebody's memory, I understand, your mother's an author or whatever, but look at all the knowledge you have. And I mean, he had some good things that he was in. As a matter of fact, I think he owns a company.
Okay.
And a lot of the awards and the things that he have, and I know that's vital. But that happens to a lot of people. They just stop right there.
Yeah.
When they should maximize their potential, maximize their potential.
Yeah.
He never did. Maybe he will,
He very well could respond to you, because I know, like the lady that I made reference to before, me and her got a little bit of clarity. So that was super good. She did understand the way I wrote it. So I was like, okay, I'm glad we did. And she was like, she went back and read it and she was like, oh, I apologize. So it was a beautiful thing that we were able to get clarity, but I was also grateful that I followed up. So like you said, you very well could have jogged his memory. And then it was just like, wow, man, my mom, maybe you might have lit something in him. And he's like, maybe I should do that. And he just kind of had a process on it. So I'm grateful that we do this beautiful thing called follow-up. So maybe you never know, by the time you reach out to him again, maybe he's like, oh, I'm sorry, I thought I pushed send. I'm notorious of that. I think I responded to you and I'm like, I did respond and you're like, hello. And I'm like, oh, the message is still there. Sorry, I thought I pushed send. So hopefully he's going to respond back and maybe you'll be able to be the start to his writing journey. Because I mean, if he's got a lot of awards and got his own
Mhm.
company. I'm sure he got a good head on his shoulder, so he can just put
Yeah.
something down. They've probably already did their policies and procedures, so you've written some stuff already.
Mhm.
Let's just make something that everybody else can participate in and share in. So
It's true. It's true.
yeah,
And it's so true now, especially, in the times that we're living in.
yeah,
And, that's what's going to bring us to this first one, the
mm-hmm.
times that we live in, even though that was a gentleman.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna let you know. We talk about women entrepreneurs.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
talk about our audience, women.
mm-hmm.
But I mean, we don't turn anybody down.
No,
Anywhere
no,
we can help. Women entrepreneurs, especially the times that we are living in, with everything that's going on with the pandemic and everything else. Y'all know what's going on. We don't have to repeat that to you. Um, there's people that are start. There's bunches of people who are out there starting their own businesses. And maybe somebody would like to start their business and just don't know how. And, this is an excellent time. This is an excellent time, women, to, write that book, whatever uh, capacity that you're in, whatever you do, whatever your business is. I don't care if you back there baking cakes in your kitchen, okay, or making pies. Somebody needs to know. Have that recipe book, you know, have, maybe it's a theme. Maybe, you do wedding cakes. Maybe you do birthday cakes. Maybe you do, cakes for, a certain sector, whatever that is. You could write your book because somebody needs to be knowledgeable. They're looking for that knowledge, whatever it may be, you know? Whether you were an executive secretary and you left that corporate job and now you're doing something at home, you have a home office and you're a virtual assistant, you could write a book. There's
you sure
people
can.
that need to know because there
Sure,
are people that are
sure.
out there and they're searching for knowledge
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because maybe they're tired of the same old. Maybe
Right.
they're tired of the status quo and they
Mm-hmm.
want to launch out on their own.
Mm-hmm.
Just think of all the knowledge that you have, you
Mm-hmm.
know, all those times that you were in those meetings in
Mm-hmm.
corporate, okay?
Yeah.
And you used
Mm-hmm.
to sit in those meetings and be, oh my God, this is boring.
Mm-hmm.
If I wish it would end. But just think, but you stayed there
Mm-hmm.
and you
Mm-hmm.
got all of that knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
don't forget those things.
Yeah,
You
you don't.
learn those things.
Mm-hmm.
Even though you didn't want to be there, you
Right.
learned some things,
You
okay?
did.
And you could
Mm-hmm.
take those things and you could write about those.
Mm-hmm.
You could start your own business, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Well, just
Mm-hmm.
think about those who are out there, they're searching. They're looking on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
They're looking through Google. They're
Mm-hmm.
trying to find the answers, but like I said, there's so much out there.
Mm-hmm.
There's so much out there. Sometimes people get confused. They
Yeah.
get all of this information, but is this too much information? And they don't
Mm-hmm.
know how to, condense it in the right format, in the right system, in the right steps, just
Mm-hmm.
like writing a book. Okay.
Yeah.
There's so much out there that people gets confused. They get overwhelmed by all of the knowledge. And sometimes they put more in that book than they should.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes they leave out stuff what they
Mm-hmm.
should put in. So
Right.
you have
Right.
to think about all those things.
Mm-hmm.
People are living busy lives just like all of us are.
Mm-hmm.
And when they can find information, when they can find knowledge, when they can find your expertise in a
Yeah.
condensed format called a book or an
Mm-hmm.
ebook, I
Yeah.
mean, that's a win-win situation.
Heck yeah, it is.
Women entrepreneurs, Tiffany.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. And I think that the catch with sometimes us women entrepreneurs um, is lots of women, they actually end up becoming entrepreneurs as because they need the time. Meaning, like some of them have families,
Yeah.
they have their kids and their families, and they need the flexibility in their time.
Mm-hmm.
But the unfortunate thing is sometimes they lack confidence as far as getting the business started. Now, when you're out there in the corporate world, you have all this confidence and you're like, oh, okay, everything is great. And I got this and I can do this and I can do this. Cause I started off as an administrative assistant. I went to an executive assistant. I went to an assistant property manager. I became the property manager, and then I became an HR representative. So those are really my diverse backgrounds. I practically almost did it all. There wasn't nothing I did not get the opportunity to do. And there was even times that I even had to flip over and I became maintenance, and I also did janitorial work as well. So there was always something that my hands found to do. But when it came to starting the entrepreneurial part of the business, confidence seems like sometimes it goes out of the out of the room, and it's just like you end up lacking it. But once you get into it and you kind of like get into your groove and you know that I can do this, this is all right, and you see your business starting to become successful, then your confidence starts to skyrocket, and it ends up becoming a better thing. But there's some wonderful tools. There's some beautiful grants that are out there for just women entrepreneurs.
That's right.
And there's no reason for you not to be successful. You will be your hold up for being
That's right.
successful, because there is absolutely no reason between grants, loans. I mean, there's all kind of things
Yes.
out there, and they're specifically for women. There's for
That's
women
right.
of color. There's no reason for you to. So with the right people around you, with you looking for the right help, or you Googling the right,
Mhm.
you talk about all the time how many searches it does into Google. So, I mean, with the right help and the right individuals that are around you, there's absolutely no reason for you to start your entrepreneur situation or your business lacking confidence, because there's way too much out there. You're not an individual that lacks confidence. So don't start your business lacking confidence. You will be able to soar. You will be able to hang with the biggest of the big dogs. All you got to do is just get out there and start it. If you haven't already, if you have already, you need to make sure that you're showcasing it and make sure that everyone knows about
That's
it.
right.
So, I mean, you'll never be successful if you don't talk about it. And that's one of the beautiful things that the most beautiful thing you can do, is talk about your business, share with everyone
That's it.
what you do, how you do it. And you never know who is going to impact or who's going to be able to partner with you when you start talking
Exactly.
about it. But being a woman entrepreneur is a beautiful thing.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. It certainly is. It
Mhm.
certainly is,
Yeah.
because like you were talking about the grants and stuff like that. There's so many out there.
Mhm.
And we're not talking about just for nonprofits. We talk about for profit.
Period.
Okay,
Hmm.
for profit.
Hmm.
If you go and search those grants,
Hmm.
um, on the from your local, your state, all the
Hmm.
way to the government level.
Hmm.
There's a
Hmm.
lot of grants out there, and
Absolutely
but for
does.
women entrepreneurs, you have to maximize your potential,
Hmm.
and along the way, as you're a woman out there, you have your business. Don't forget to write your books
Hmm.
in that whatever that niche is, whatever
Hmm.
that niche is,
Hmm.
and reach your people, reach your audience, put it that
Hmm.
way. Reach
Hmm.
your ideal audience with that best message.
Hmm.
I always like to bring it back to the hardware store.
Hmm.
you know, a person with a hardware store. Maybe they have people over here with gardening. They have
Hmm.
garden supplies in their store. So now they could write to that audience that's interested in gardening.
Hmm.
Then they have a paint section in their store. Well,
Hmm.
they could write to that audience that's interested in paint. They're interested in decorating.
Hmm.
There's different things that you know we want to just jog your mind with.
Hmm. Hmm.
And
Hmm.
just help you to
Yeah.
maximize your potential.
Yes.
There's so much in you that
Hmm.
a lot of times you don't really see. But if you just sit back and take time out
Hmm.
to, do a study, do an
Yeah.
investigation, and
Hmm.
see what's inside of you.
Hmm.
A lot of times we have to sit back and really look on the inside of us, quiet
Hmm.
ourselves, and look
Hmm.
on the inside of us and see what we have to work with.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
that certainly was something with me,
Yeah.
knowing what I had to work with when I came. And, yesterday we were talking about that. When I came to that point in my life where I had to make a decision that allows from no turning back. when I was laid off twice back to back through no fault of my own when the housing market went bust. Okay. I had to decide, what do I have to work with? Because this can't happen to me again. I can't go through that emotional roller coaster ride. Maybe we're talking to some women out there. They're sick and tired of the roller coaster ride. They're sick and tired of this. You have a job, and now they're telling me right now that a lot of times the wait, like if they go to restaurants. Good morning, Keisha. How you doing this morning? If they go to restaurants or they go to certain places, the wait is extra long because they have a skeleton staff working.
Yeah.
There's a skeleton staff working. So sometimes people they're working themselves to the to the bone. They're really out there hustling, but
Yeah.
it's and people get sick and tired of it.
They do.
So it's an excellent time to start your business. It's an excellent time to write that book because look of all the experience you have. Even people who are in the restaurant business, wherever, they might not even be women entrepreneurs. Okay, they might not even be an entrepreneur, but there are people out there that's they're working out there in corporate. They're working out there for somebody else. They still have a book inside of them, Tiffany. They still have a book inside of them with all of that experience.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a lot of knowledge out there. So we hoping that we are jogging your memory today to encourage you to stop leaving money on the table and maximize your potential. Because what we want to say, I won't say suffer, but I'm gonna say that word suffer. You don't have to suffer no more.
Yeah.
Okay, you don't have to suffer anymore because the opportunities, the door to the opportunities are open wide for you.
Yeah. Just got to walk in it.
Just got to walk in it. So, writing your book does not have to be complicated because you have an audience waiting for you.
Absolutely. They're waiting just for you. They're waiting to hear your voice because you are their answer. So absolutely. Talk to them.
It doesn't have to be complicated.
And then
look what we talk about. Now, this is one that you can start off on right there. Look at that one.
Well, I got to do this. No, play with you.
No, because you had a good one yesterday. You need to share it with them today. You had a good one yesterday when you were talking about that.
Well, I mean, single moms, it's a bitter, beautiful thing to be a single mom there. And there is so many resources also for single moms as well. And the disadvantage is sometimes when we're a single mom, depending upon how it is, because for me, as far as my singlehood, good morning. As far as my singlehood was, I started off with married and became single. Some of them, they're just already, like, I'm saying single because they never became married, because there is a difference between just being a married individual and then just being single, single parenting, I guess you can say. So for me, it was a difference and it was a transition. And I kind of got stuck in my brain as in, like, how can I move forward from here? Like, this is the way it was ordained to be, as the husband and wife, and we're a family and we're supposed to make it work. And how can I do it? Now there's no resources for me. There's not going to be any help. Who's going to be able to help me? I'm by myself. Oh my God. So I kind of like started getting into my head. But then I realized the minute I opened up my mouth, as quiet as it's kept out there, it seemed like it was almost better to be a single mom, because it seemed like there was more help and there was more, people were more willing to help you because you didn't have the man to help, versus it was when we were married and we were a unit. So I say for single moms, don't get stuck in the mindset of there's no one that's out there to help you, because there's still grants that's out there to help you. There is still loans that are out there to help moms become entrepreneurs. There's help that's out there. You don't have to do this life alone. You don't have to overwhelm your parents or family members to have them watch your kids for you, and just feeling like you can't do that. There's help for you for daycare. There's help for you as helping you to get over the hump. There's people that are out there that's helping you as far as your job search. If you need to go back to school, there's help for you out there. The catch is you just have to open up and ask for it. because it's just not going to fall into your lap. So you just have to
Mhm.
be willing to ask for it. And that's just really with anything, whether you're a single mom, if you're just single, period, or you're divorced, married, if whatever has happened, you just have to open up your mouth, and we have to stop lacking confidence in asking things.
Mhm.
But another thing is to do is just to go back to school, get your education, even if it's certification. Um, that's a beautiful thing, is to be able to oh, listen, the go on, catch the replay, sugar. Oh yeah. So it's a beautiful thing to be able to help, to get help, because that, like you're always saying, the knowledge that you have, there's a lot of knowledge that we have inside of us, because I believe we all are teachers at some point in time, especially single moms.
Yes.
As in, and when I say single moms, it's because we have to teach our kids how to do certain things. We're teaching them to tie their shoes. We're teaching them how to cook,
Mhm.
to go to the bathroom. We are teachers, and we really fail to see that you're a teacher. No, you're a teacher. So if you could teach your kid how to be an effective individual, how to go to the bathroom, how to read, how to write, how to do all these things, you don't think that you could teach somebody else by writing your book and teaching them how to do things? Maybe you're that how-to individual. Then again, maybe you're not the how-to individual.
Mhm.
Maybe you're such a creative that you could take me to this fairyland. And I shouldn't say fairyland, but you can give us a fairy tale of a nonfiction, or maybe you want to write a romantic novel. Maybe your mind is able just to be that creative and to help individuals. For me, I won't always say that I have to do the how-to book and the biography or the autobiography. I love romance novels. I love being able to read stuff like that, because I'm just a sucker for love, and I just love love. So maybe get out there and start writing your stuff, and just becoming that creative individual that you already are. It's just finding confidence within you and going ahead, writing your book, and take us through that good old journey. I love to read a book that can take me through a great journey. But just understanding through that journey, there's help for you out there. You don't have to do it alone. You don't have to get you 6, 7 jobs for you to be able to finance your way through school. There's scholarships that are out there that'll be able to help you to get your education, get your certification, to get whatever you need to become the successful individual that you already are. We just need to see the manifestation of your success. So just putting it out there so we can see it. That's what we need to see.
And yeah, that's a very good point. And single moms, young mothers,
Hmm.
how many times do we see women trying to find a book
Yeah. Hmm.
when they, are young?
Hmm. 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 And that,
Bring to
even
the
now,
point.
sometimes I'll even be like, I'll send a Facebook message, or I'll send a little request some kind of way or another. I'm like, I need a good book to read, because what I got over here is just not interested. I just need to know, what is it?
Yeah,
Somebody refer me to a book that I can read. Come on, let's do a reading journey together, and that's fun too.
that's right.
Being able to find somebody that you can read with, and realizing reading is actually a good thing. You're putting knowledge into you also, but sometimes having that buddy systems don't necessarily have to be for just working out. It's good to have a workout partner. I want somebody to go to the gym with me and I can work out.
That's it.
Have somebody work out with you as far as working this brain out, and let's read a book together. Let's go
That's
on
true.
this journey and let's figure out something that we can do. Having a partner or somebody that's an accountability partner, reading 10 pages a day, that's a
Yeah.
piece of cake. And then we'll talk about it at the end. What did you get from that? Oh, I didn't see that. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Let me go back and read that. Wait a minute. That was on page what? Let's go back to
Yeah.
that. So that's a beautiful thing to be able to do, is to have a partner that's going to help you through life. If you
Yeah.
don't have that male or female partner, rather, whichever person that we're end up speaking to, if you don't have that partner, find you a friend or an accountability partner. There's people out here on social media that are just really waiting just to be your friend as well. Find
That's
that
right.
person that's helping you to be accountable, and so we can gain knowledge together. And that we'll be able to
Yes.
grow and become those successful individuals. And so we're able, if we're not reading that book with somebody, it will be able to help you write your book as well.
That's
So
true.
yeah.
That is so true. Just what you said right there, because you have to expand your mindset. That's
Absolutely.
why it's so important.
Hmm.
You have to be a good reader in order to be a good writer. You
Yeah.
have to, you
Hmm.
know, or it'll
Hmm.
stand right there.
Yeah.
But yeah, single moms, there's a lot of things that you could write about that
Yeah.
will help other moms.
Mm-hmm.
out there, especially new moms.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, now they have a new baby,
Mm-hmm.
and now what they're gonna do? So
Mm-hmm.
they are searching for that information.
I need
So
help.
there's
I
something
said,
for
they be
everybody.
saying I need help. Right.
Yeah, they need help. They need
Mm-hmm.
help. Share those experiences. You
Mm-hmm.
know what you've gone through. You
Yeah.
know, share what
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Mm-hmm.
and don't say that. Well, there's a lot of books written on that subject.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, that's a mentality. You
Mm-hmm.
can't think that way.
Mm-hmm.
These are some of the things that we're going to talk about on this workshop.
Yeah.
That's a mentality. That's limited mentality
Yeah.
thinking, and you
Yeah.
can't think that way
Mm-hmm.
because there's an audience out there that will resonate with you.
Yep.
Okay,
Absolutely.
where they won't resonate with somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody has somebody's in order that they have to reach.
Yeah.
Okay,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
so
Mm-hmm.
don't ever think that nobody's interested in your book.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, you have to see it because if you believe that way, your book will what be on the side in boxes in the corner collecting dust. Remember, it always starts with you.
Mm-hmm.
And it starts with your mindset.
Yeah.
It starts with your belief.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't believe in yourself, if you
Come
are
on.
not believing that you could reach an audience, your book is already dead in the water
Right. Right.
because it's an energy that comes from you. It's a momentum that comes from you. It's those things that comes from you that's going to, launch your book out there.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to launch your book out there. Whether you believe it or not, it's
Yeah.
you,
It's
your
you.
energy, your momentum.
Mm-hmm.
It's you can't put that on the shoulders of anybody else except yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay? You have a responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
I have a responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
Tiffany has a responsibility
Mm-hmm.
to get our individual books out there to reach that audience of
Sure.
63,000 Google searches
Mm-hmm.
every second of every day.
Yeah.
There's a number of people that's looking for the information that
Yeah.
you have inside of you that
Yeah.
you have not written yet.
Mm-hmm.
So let's maximize your potential. Let's
Mm-hmm.
be intentional and get those books out there,
Mm-hmm.
this year.
Yeah.
Here's
Yeah.
another group, retirees, okay?
Yeah. Yeah.
That wealth of knowledge they have inside of them for working for all of those years.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay? All
Mm-hmm.
of those years.
Mm-hmm.
The foundation. You
Yeah.
know, nowadays it's so much about, automation and different, and automation is good.
It
All
is.
of those things are
Sure.
good. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
but if something goes wrong with technology, something goes wrong with automation, what are they going to fall back on?
Right.
You have to have a foundation. You always have to establish a foundation. You can never just jump to automation. You
Mm-hmm.
never could just jump to to technology. You suppose technology goes out.
Right.
Then
Right.
what you gonna do?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you
Mm-hmm.
have people who have been in these industries for a while.
Yeah.
They have learned how to build a foundation.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So even for them, if technology is a challenge for them,
Mm-hmm.
if automation is a challenge for them, at least they have a foundation.
Yeah.
They can
Yeah.
still go on. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But this is some things that they could teach people that do not have that foundation.
Yeah.
They could teach them that knowledge. They could share with them that wisdom in a book, in a
Mm-hmm.
condensed format,
Mm-hmm.
where even if something happens, oh
Sure.
Lord, they have
Mm-hmm.
glitches.
We was talking about that earlier.
Oh Lord, yeah. They could continue to reach their audience.
Mm-hmm.
They could continue to have that connection.
Mm-hmm.
Their work you talk about entrepreneurs, your work could continue to flow.
Yeah.
So retirees, there is something that you could write about. All those years you've been on that job,
Mm-hmm.
all those years you got that project through
Mm-hmm.
for that boss,
Mm-hmm.
all those years
Yeah.
of knowledge that you have retained,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
all those years.
Yeah.
Just think about that, Tiffany. All
Yeah.
that knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that they could write about. Not something. There's some
Yeah.
things.
Things.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
They could write about that. You all could write about that. Other people need to know.
Sure. Sure. Mm-hmm.
Because you need a foundation. No matter where you are in life, You need a foundation.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You need, that solid foundation. You need that platform. You need that launching pad.
You do.
You need where it starts. You can't jump
Mm-hmm.
over that. And just think how much golden information, retirees, you have
Mm-hmm.
inside of you.
Sure.
Don't think that, it's over for you. Don't
Mm-hmm.
think it's, well, nobody wants to hear what I have.
Mm-hmm.
They do.
Mm-hmm.
They will. There's an
They do.
audience out there for you too, to
Mm-hmm.
reach,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
to reach people, to
Sure
make a
is.
difference. You remember we
Mhm.
talked about, as an author, you
Mhm.
have a huge responsibility
Sure enough.
to change the trajectory of an audience's life, of a person's life. And not only that person, but also for generations. Also for generations. That's why I like the older people. You remember I told you about my husband's aunt who was 105 when she passed, okay? Just think of all the wisdom, all the knowledge, everything she had inside of her. Just think the things that she have
Yeah.
seen.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
there's a wealth of information there.
Absolutely it is.
A
Absolutely
lot
it
of
is.
times people may think, well, that's in the past, that's old fashioned. But you know what? When we're talking about that, everybody likes to know where they come from.
They do.
Why they go
Mhm.
back and look at
Mhm.
ancestry.com and all those other
Absolutely.
things.
Mhm. It helps
Just
you to be
think of
the
what
individual you
people
are.
could share. Huh?
Mhm. It helps you to be the individual you are. I need to
Yeah.
know my history. I need to know what my foundation is so that I can I can know a little bit better about me. I need to understand certain stuff about
Mhm.
me. And then oh man, my chest hurts a whole lot. Or, hey, if I found out what my family history is, I may have found out that we have high blood pressure that runs in our family or whatsoever. Or, I might want to be careful of the things that I consume because, as we call it, the sugar diabetes, it runs in the family. So there's certain things you want to know what your history is. That's why
Mhm.
we go back, because I need to know. And then I know what my now is and what I can improve on if there is anything that
Mhm.
needs to be improved on. But with these retirees, that's a beautiful thing to be a retiree. Now that you have went from being employed for so long, now that you have retired, this is the perfect time and season for you to be able to
Yes.
write a book. After you take off that month, for the most part, from the ones that I have encountered, once they retire, they'll take off the first month, they'll relax, they'll do some house cleaning, whatever those chores were that they really wanted to get to, as far as redecorating the house or doing whatever they had to do. And now I'm bored. Now I need
Yeah.
something to do. Why not go ahead and write your book there?
Write your book.
There is so much that you could tell me about your life, or some of your parents, or your job life. This is the perfect time because you don't have anything else to do, so to speak. Or after you take maybe you're invested into your grandkids. Maybe after you take the grandkids to school, you get a chance to go ahead. You don't have to worry about just watching soap operas or trying to catch up on. I think The Price is Right is still on. You don't have to worry about just watching those shows. Go ahead and get into that book and give us that wealth of information,
Yes.
knowledge. Maybe it might be a book of poems. Whatever your
Mhm.
book may be, this would be a perfect time for the retirees to go ahead and do it, because this is what you have. Tell me what you do with your time on your hands.
Mhm.
There's so much that you will be able to express to us, or, you'll be able to go ahead and learn some knowledge as far as, how you became to learn how to use the computer, how you were able to figure out how text messaging and social media works for whatever you being a baby boomer, or whatever it is, for how
Mhm.
you went from your then to your now. All that matters and that helps. But while you're retired, take advantage of that time to be a wealth of knowledge to somebody else.
Yeah, especially with the age limit and things of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe people 50 or in their 60s who have retired, maybe they don't know about technology.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well now this author is in their 50s and their 60s. Now they're teaching about technology.
Yeah.
So
Mm-hmm.
who are those people going to gravitate to? Are they
Mm-hmm.
going to gravitate to the 20-year-old? Or are
Mm-hmm.
they going to gravitate to the 50 or 60-year-old? They're going to go
Mm-hmm.
to the 50 or 60-year-old
Right.
because
Right.
now they speak the same language.
Yeah.
You
Mm-hmm.
know, Now there's
Mhm.
a familiarity there,
Yep.
so
Mhm.
it's great. Like what? Retiree, a teacher,
Mhm.
okay?
Mhm.
Write a children's book,
Yeah.
you know, write
Mhm.
a travel,
Yeah.
so now you're retired.
Mhm.
Maybe now you're traveling
Yeah.
or whatever, or have traveled,
Yeah. Mhm.
you know? So write those books. Let
Mhm.
people know um what it is to go to Austria, you know?
Mhm.
What
Mhm. Oh, I love that.
in those books,
Mhm.
excuse me, in those books, not only because now you're taking pictures, okay?
Mhm.
So it could be a picturesque book,
Yeah.
you
Mhm.
know, with your experiences
Mhm.
from those places, Austria,
Mhm.
Scotland, whatever it
Mhm.
is,
Mhm.
Belgium,
Absolutely.
you know?
It'll tell me where I want to go while I start traveling. I get
Yeah,
a chance to know. And while I'm traveling, it gives me something to read while I'm traveling. So it's
exactly.
beautiful. You want to definitely know those kind of things. That's a beautiful thing. Come on, let me, and don't let it be some pictures. I'm like, oh, so this is what I get a chance to look for. Or either when you've taken that picture, by the time I get there, I'm like, oh, this changed on that. So in this picture, this was done and this. Now it looks like this. Well, it's something beautiful to be able to see. So
Yes.
yeah, it's
Good-
something beautiful.
Beautiful, huh? Good morning, Gene. How you doing this
Great
morning?
morning. Great morning. Great.
But there's always something. There's always
Mhm.
something.
Mhm.
Whether you're a woman entrepreneur, whether you're a
Yeah.
single mom, whether
Mhm.
you're a retiree,
Mhm.
there's a book that you could write to reach your audience. Your book writing does not have to be complicated because you have an audience waiting. Here's the health challenge, you know, whether it's, their health or whether it's somebody who's handicapped. Okay. You remember that guy? I don't remember his name. But you remember he was severely handicapped and he used to write with a pencil in his mouth. Stephen Hawkins, I believe his name was.
Might be.
I
I
think
don't
it was
know.
Stephen Hawkins.
I recall I
Yeah,
recall the situation. I just don't recall his name. But watch me. Let me be
yeah.
one of them 63,000.
Yes, I think it was Stephen Hawkins. I believe that was his name. You know, he was handicapped, but he did not allow that to stop him. And he had a brilliant mind, he would do some things. So even if you are health challenged, y'all, if you are handicapped, do not allow those things to stop you. Okay, because your brain is still working. The man used a pencil in his mouth to navigate. You know, you have to have a determination because there's an audience out there that's waiting for you. Your book writing does not have to be complicated. That's a mindset thing. There's, excuse me, Tiffany, y'all, the sinus. Go ahead.
Listen, I'm having that same situation over here as well. You have the coughing sinus, and I sitting here. I keep doing one of these little numbers, so I'm sitting here. If my eyes water one more
Yes,
again,
Lord.
I know that. If it waters one more again, I'm not crying.
Girl, it's
I am
something
not.
serious. And I
Yeah.
just told you the sun, it has ceased, and here it is again. And
Right.
I believe it's because all of the impurities with them banging on my roof and everything,
Settling
it
now.
stirred up stuff.
Now you being the health challenged.
Yes, yes, but I'm getting through, right? I'm
Right.
talking and
Mm-hmm.
coughing and sipping. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna get through this telecast. I'm getting
That
through
you
this telecast. Okay.
that you
But the
are.
health challenge, you
Mm-hmm.
have to have a determination
Mm-hmm.
that you're not gonna quit no matter what the situation is. No matter what the situation is, there's something out there for you to write about because it's inside of you. It's inside of you, author. Your audience is waiting, and your book writing does not have to be complicated. Because a person with a health challenge, maybe they could reach a whole audience that there's people with health challenge, people that need to understand maybe what they're going through. You know, speaking to somebody's heart. You know, showing them, how it is to be trapped in whatever situation or circumstances that they're in. That their body is trapped. Okay, put it this way, Tiffany. Their body is trapped in this situation and circumstance, but the
Mm-hmm.
mind is free. The mind is free. And that should be something for all of us. Whatever situation, circumstance it is, the mind will remain free. Always, authors, have your mind free. Have your mind free. And that's very important.
You definitely need to have your free your mind. I think
Yes.
was In Vogue had that song, "Free Your Mind and the Rest will follow." You need to make sure you have that mind free so that you'll be
Mm-hmm.
able to go ahead and be the effective individual that's needed.
Mm-hmm.
You definitely want to have a free mind. That's a beautiful thing. I actually like that. I think I got to write that down because you done made me start thinking about some stuff. So,
I tell you, I have to sometimes go back and watch these broadcasts myself because it just comes up. And I
mhm.
know you do too.
Oh
Some of
yeah.
the things you say just comes up.
Uh-huh.
But that's the pull. Then that's right. Do not let your
Come
handicaps or what we
on.
see as handicaps stop us. That's right. That's
Don't.
right. And then, handicaps. What's a handicap? A limitation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. A limitation. It's the
Mm-hmm.
mind. Your
Mm-hmm.
mind. You get, control
Mm-hmm.
that mindset, shift that mindset. And your book, your message is going to shift the mindset of your readers. Is it, like I said, it's not only for that person, it's for that family, and it's for a generation. Shifting that mindset, it makes a whole lot of difference. A whole lot of difference. And she said the body may be weak, but the mind is strong. And that is so true.
Jeannie, you better talk today. I feel like we need to switch spots. Jeannie, you doing some talking on today. Sugar.
That's
Uh-huh.
right. The
Uh,
mind is strong. The mind has to be strong,
you do.
Tiffany.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It has to be strong.
You got to be able to be mentally strong in order to fight through some of these things because there's certain challenges that have come up and there's certain situations that'll be here. And if you kind of have one of them feeble, fickle minds, you'll be ready to fold in a minute.
Oh,
All it
yes.
is just the wind done blew and then it done took the string out of here. It done untied my thing. Oh my God, now I'm ready to fold. It wasn't that serious. Man, I know how to tie it. I can tie it right back. But sometimes when we just feel like we're just got too much mental anguish going on, it's just like I just can't take it. And we need to be able to have strong minds.
Oh,
Again,
yes.
that also helps with who you associate yourself with,
Oh, yes.
who you have around you. Because if you have what you feed your mind is what it's going to be. If you're
Yes.
always sitting here looking at junk, talking junk, being around garbage, then how are you going to be able to be an effective individual? You can't you're eating vegetables, you become a healthier individual. That's your parents tell you eat your vegetables. When you eat your vegetables, you become a stronger individual. So things that give some vegetables to your mind, read a book, go study something. You're being able to feed your brain and helping the content come to your brain. Give it good stuff, give it good nutrients instead of sitting here watching just these talk shows and these junk shows and just being on social media finding different memes and just being hee hee ha ha funny person. Like
Mhm.
seriously, feed yourself something so you can be of some substance because there are a lot of people that want us to take them seriously. But how do you want me to take you seriously and you're not giving me nothing? Everything that comes
Exactly.
from your mouth is trash, as in negative. It's just
Oh,
you're not
yes.
giving me anything of substance, but you want me to take you like you're some substance, but you're not a woman of substance. Give me
That's
something.
right. That's
Oh,
right.
yeah.
Something of substance, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
You
that means a lot.
Yeah.
And the
Come on,
substance.
nothing can beat a made up mind. I know
Yeah,
that's right.
that's
I know that's
that's
right. Your
so true.
parents always had some good they got these little nuggets that they drop in here. Jeannie, you always be dropping these little things and what your parents say. Listen, your parents always got something good, and I actually like them. I like these little tidbits. I
But
need to
that's
sit
true.
down and write. You know what's fun? That is a good thing to do. Just have these little sayings that parents or grandparents or different little things you grow up hearing and seeing what your interpretation is of that. It is just a beautiful thing. I enjoy. That's one thing I love about being here in Florida now, born and raised in Seattle. But my parents, they're country. But being down here, I hear so many more sayings, and it makes me feel like home because I grew up in a household that have all these little quirky sayings, have all these. I'm like, what are you talking about? Where is this coming? And then I come down here, and that's all I hear, and I'm like, there's no.
So it followed you, right? That's what
It
you're trying to
followed
say?
me, so I didn't escape it at all, not at all.
Yeah, a lot of those things that our parents used to tell us. Yeah. we hear, we hear. Yes, we
Uh-huh.
do.
Yeah,
Yes, we do. But
absolutely.
it's so important, y'all. It's so
It
important,
is.
authors. Your audience is waiting, and you don't have to. Your writing does not have to be complicated. And no matter if you're a woman entrepreneur,
Mhm.
if you're a single mom, if
Yeah.
you're a retiree, if you have health challenges,
Right.
or if you're a housewife.
Right.
I
Right.
think now I say housewife, but I think now it's called homemaker or whatever. Maybe I didn't use the right thing,
It
but y'all know
depends
what
on
I'm talking about,
it
right?
depends on who you are. They might just
Yeah.
be a little house engineer now. They want to
Now,
use.
whatever it is, I don't know the correct term, but yeah, y'all know what we're talking about.
Uh-huh.
Girl, stop
Stay at
sitting
home
around.
moms.
Yeah, stop
Yeah.
sitting around watching those soap operas all day.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Stop sitting around. You got value. You see, that's why people a lot of times they can't see their value inside of themselves, but they got value.
Mm-hmm.
It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't matter if you haven't had a job in your life. There's
Mm-hmm.
something inside that you know.
Sure.
There's
Mm-hmm.
there's there's something inside of you. You
There
have
is.
purpose.
Mm-hmm.
Remember,
Absolutely.
those actors on that TV, those actresses,
Mm-hmm.
they have made their millions.
Yeah.
But there's an audience out there that's waiting for you to make your million.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
There's an audience out there that could bring your book to selling 1,000,000 copies if you just write your book.
Sure.
Maybe, you could teach somebody how to organize a house
Sure
because you've
can.
done it so well.
Yeah.
How to provide for your family, not provide because that's a
Mhm.
man's job, but
Yeah.
how to, now you hear I'm saying job, getting in trouble, right? But anyway,
But
the
you're
man's
talking
supposed
about
to be
being
the
a
provider,
housewife.
right?
So in that pause, in this, that makes sense for you to say it that way, though, because if you're a housewife, that's what the man is doing. That man is providing for the home. So
Exactly. We
that's
have
what
to
that.
make it plain.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have to make it plain, bring
Mhm.
things in order, making it plain. And
Yeah.
that's true, right? That's true. But suppose, they taking care of the man in the house, okay? They taking care of the house. So the
Mhm.
man, when he come home, the food is cooked, the
Yeah.
house is clean, the
Mhm.
children are taken care of, the
Mhm.
clothes are washed. Hey,
Mhm.
somebody needs to know that because
Yeah.
sometimes people struggle with just those things.
Mhm.
You
You might
can't
even.
assume everybody's doing
Mhm.
it the way you do it, right?
Right. Right. Mhm.
People struggle with that.
Heck yeah.
When I moved here from where I'm at, New Orleans,
Mhm.
this is where I'm from,
Mhm.
women knew how to cook.
Yeah.
When I
Yeah.
moved out here,
Mhm.
women tell me they didn't know how to cook, and I'm saying, you don't know
What's
how to
your
cook.
problem?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
One girl told me, well, this was actually back home, but I think she was from another state, okay?
Mhm. Mhm.
She said it was Thanksgiving, and her mother told her to wash rice. She
Mhm.
went in the sink, okay, and she put Dawn in the rice to wash the rice. Yes, she did.
See, you almost got what I did on real life. When my friends say something, I just get up and leave. That's what I had to remember. I had to remember where I was at. I almost got.
Yes, that's what she said. She said she went and put Dawn in the rice and washed the rice. So they couldn't eat it because it was too soapy. And it was like Thanksgiving Day. I remember she was telling me this. But
Merciful Jesus.
we laughing at that. But that's really
You didn't
serious for
know.
some people. They don't know.
They don't know. They don't
So,
know. Mhm.
housewife, whatever that term is,
Mhm.
you need to write your book
Right.
because what you may assume that some people know,
Mhm.
they don't know.
They may not
They
know.
really don't know.
Mhm. You might
Yeah.
be able to help me pack a bag. I only need to take an overnight bag, but instead of me taking this thing and folding it like this in here, and I put it in there, I done consumed all my bag space doing it this way. You might be able to show me that. No, I just need to wrap it this way and
Yeah.
wrap it here, and you can roll it And now I done
Yeah.
saved some space. So now here's the space. Show me space savers. You may be able to educate me on how to do
Oh,
this. Show me how
yeah.
to properly fold something. You know, you never know. I think that was one of the beautifulest things that my grandmother was a housewife. I would have loved to be a housewife.
I
I would have
know.
loved to be a homemaker. Like sincerely, did but I would learn these different little things. How in the world to clean that? I got a refrigerator that's stainless steel. How in the world do I get a chance to wipe the refrigerator and not leave smears on there? Like these are beautiful things and certain things people
Yeah.
know how to do. That's just not my talent. I'll wipe it down, I'll clean, but how do you get the smears off of there? How do you properly fold? You know, what do you
Mhm.
do when you take it
That's true.
to the cleaners and they give you the little wire hangers? What do you do with the wire hangers? You might have a remedy to do with the wire hangers versus just throwing them in the garbage. I mean, there's solutions out there, and we need to hear from you.
Yes, and that's so true.
Hmm.
That is so true. So everybody has something that they could contribute
Yes,
to an audience where their book writing does not have to be complicated.
that's
If
not.
they just allow it just to flow from them,
Mhm.
flow from their core, get an understanding of who they are,
Yeah.
get an
Mhm.
understanding of their purpose, get an understanding of their audience,
Yeah.
and make that connection,
Hmm.
tell
Hmm.
their story, make that connection,
Yeah.
humanize it,
Yeah.
and allow people to get to know who they are
Hmm.
as an author. Okay, that's
Yeah.
the key right there.
Hmm.
Your audience wants to know who you are. They
Ooh.
want to connect with you.
Hmm.
They want to look up to you because you are a leader in
Yeah.
their eyes. When you
Hmm.
show up, you got to show up for them because they're looking for you.
Hmm.
Authors, your audience is looking for you.
Hmm.
You
Hmm.
have to show up, and it depends on how you show up.
Sure.
Be consistent with your show
Sure.
up. You know what I
Sure.
mean?
Sure.
You got to be consistent. You got to stop leaving money on the table. You
Hmm.
got to stop thinking that this is nothing because it's a
Hmm.
big deal.
It
Okay,
is.
it's a big deal.
Yep.
63,000 Google searches every
Hmm.
second of every day of
Hmm.
people looking for the information that you have not even written yet. 7.9 billion people, and there's a segment out there of somebody's that's looking for you. They're looking for your book. So don't ever take it uh, as being an author as something lightly. It's not lightly. It's a writing journey. It's a writing journey. So, and I hope that what we have shared with you has brought value to you, and it will help enlighten your understanding about your book writing journey. It doesn't have to be complicated, y'all. As we've been saying, it doesn't have to be complicated. We hope that what we have shared with you has opened up some things to have you thinking,
Sure.
to give you that aha moment, to
Yeah.
change the trajectory of your life right now in this very second, that will make you or help you, put it that way,
Hmm.
not make you, but help you,
Hmm.
enable you
Hmm.
to be intentional and maximize your potential.
Hmm.
So
Absolutely.
if you like to connect with us, our information is scrolling at the bottom of the
Hmm.
screen, and it's
Hmm.
also in the comments.
Yep.
You could go back and watch this replay. Don't forget to share this replay out with your
Hmm.
audience, with your friends,
Yeah.
or if it has the message could was not exactly for you at this
Mhm.
particular time. Just think about who needs to hear this message.
Sure.
Who needs to hear this message?
Hmm.
And share it out, okay?
Yeah.
Because you don't want to keep good stuff to yourself.
Right. Right.
A
Right.
lot of nuggets were dropped here today.
Hmm.
So,
Hmm.
with that being said, from Tiffany and myself, remember, this is your time, this is
Hmm.
your season, this
This
is
is
your
your
turning point. So, have a great rest of your day.
grace and peace, y'all.